Hi everyone. So today I want to show you something that will hopefully, really give you a boost with your Amazon business, how you think about things and, where exactly you look when it comes to sourcing. And so at some point prior to now, you'll have heard me talk about trends, whether that be on TikTok or YouTube. I know that I've covered that topic a couple of times. And so today I thought I'd really sort of like demonstrate how useful this can be to you. And I've come up with a couple of examples whereby I've thought of things that have been a trend and currently are, and the impact that can have, the positive impact that can have on you and your Amazon business. So before we dive into it, think about everything that's going on around you. So, what do you see constantly on TikTok? What's coming out in the cinema right now? What books are top of the leaderboard at this point in time? Think about everything that's going on around you. What do you hear people talk about product-wise quite a lot? Is there something that's brand new that you're hearing a lot more of recently? What are people talking about? Because even if it isn't specifically a product, whatever it is that they're talking about can relate to a product. So let me give you an example, right? Now, not all of you will know what I'm talking about because probably not everyone that's watching this has seen it, or maybe you've not heard of it or whatever. But anyway, I'll explain it to you. So earlier this year, there was a TV show called Fallout, which is based on a popular video game, and it really doesn't take much research at all into the franchise to understand that for all gamers, regardless of console, Fallout is generally regarded as a really good game, and it's quite popular. Okay, now there hasn't been a new Fallout game in many years, and so if I go to 365, you can see, or for all time even, you can see that a couple of years ago, it was still quite popular, and then sort of after that point, it really set in that there's not really going to be anything new of this franchise for quite some time. So as you can see, it sort of mellowed out, but still did okay, right? Now, earlier this year, Amazon released a Fallout TV series, and whilst the game is already quite highly regarded, even though it had mellowed out, the TV show really reignited an interest in the game. People were picking it up for the first time. People were picking it back up again. They might have sold it and then years prior, and then they're getting it again. New things were added, I believe, in celebration of the success of the show. And I mean, me personally, I'm telling you that the show is really, really good. And if you haven't seen it yet, I would really urge you to do so. So anyway, it was released in April. Now look at this. Prior to its release, it was at a general BSR of, I don't know, somewhere between 5,000 and 9,000, with the exception of a few periods where it shot up. But then if you look at this, right, about the 12th of April, is that 6,000, and then the TV show drops, and boom, look at how steep that change in BSR is. That is drastic. So it goes from 6,000 to 277, 100 and something, and that is amazing. So it shot right up. And for this period of time, as it was out all the way through to about June, it did really, really well. There's lots of movement on that BSR line. It's a really, really good BSR. And it's only just now, at this point in time of recording this video, it's started to mellow out again. If you're thinking, hold on, if I join a trend, how do I know how long it's going to last? I mean, that comes down to product research and understanding how it was doing prior to, things like this show coming out. So it did okay prior. So you wouldn't necessarily be stuck with stuff because sales for this game are still okay. But in this time period, if you had a load of this game in stock, you would have, been able to sit back and reap the rewards. So that's one. So at the time of recording this, there is a sequel to Beetlejuice. I didn't see it come in, but here it is. And as you can imagine, it reignites an interest in the first movie. And so if we then go down to the charts right here, you can see that it is it is quite popular. It surprised me that this does sell, quite well. Of course, it's not being tracked by Keeper right here, that's why it's blank, but ultimately it does quite well. So Beetlejuice is a bit more of like a general thing. It's not sort of like specific and like tied to a franchise and so forth. Like it's more of like a general thing. And so if you look at how things have gone, it does really well. But since its release earlier this month, it's doing a lot better. It's now at number 3. Like, that's crazy. So just a DVD of Beetlejuice is doing really well sales wise. That's another one. And then just another example. So Deadpool 3 came out earlier this summer. So I think that came out in late July, start of August. I can't quite remember, but it was around that point. And so obviously this will then reignite an interest in the previous 2 movies. And just as a general hero, again, it doesn't take much research. If you're a Marvel fan, you'll know that this character is quite high up in terms of popularity. So anything sort of like Deadpool related, especially with these movies and the massive success of every single one, particularly the third one, like there is a interest again. So as you can see, doing all right prior to its release, just doing all right. And then boom, from the point it was released, the sales have gotten hotter. So, there you have it. These things do take a little bit of research and understanding of what exactly it is that you're sort of like interested in. So, for example, if say Madonna releases a brand new song and everyone absolutely loves it, obviously that's going to raise the popularity of her previous works as well. So vinyl, CDs, maybe any biographies, things like that. Obviously, check the item's history prior. You don't want it to be absolutely dead. And then even when that trend happens, it will do well for that time, but chances are it's going to drop as drastically as it shot up. Whereas with these things, they were doing okay before. And as you can see with the Fallout one, it was doing okay after the sort of like hype as the TV show was released. So, there you have it. As these things come out, you can see a boost. So that's why it's important to pay attention to what's going on around you and apply a business mindset where you can. And, this is what can give you these nice little, surges in sales and profits as you go for things like this. So be mindful of what's going on around you. It's really good for helping you sort of like narrow down what it is you're sourcing. And yeah, maybe you can get in on some future trends. Thanks for watching.